There's so many things going on, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We have an Irish comedian that was just arrested in an airport for you won't believe what. Oh yeah, just posting a couple things on the internet. We'll get into that. We have also a number of other big stories. We got The Rock, something going on with him. We'll get into that. We have also our president. Apparently, a lot of people thought he was a goner. I'll get into that story. He just recently, like in the last few hours, made a press conference. And like I said, but there is some other strange things about it that I want to get into because I had a theory and I think it's now coming true. And I didn't think that he was a goner. Like there's so many people that were literally tweeting. It went viral. Everyone was talking about it. I didn't think that at all. I thought it had something to do with something much bigger. That's a positive thing, and I'm going to get into that. And you're not going to believe it because we had predictions about this. We're in the month of September. This is when it was supposed to, of course, happen. And I think we're now seeing it all line up, and I'm going to show you all the data that backs it up. And actually, like I said, we got a ton of other stories, actually, like usual. Let's just get into this. We'll start here. We have here a comedian that was arrested at Heathrow in the UK, an Irish comedian, Graham Linehan. Why? Because of a couple tweets. And all they had to do with is being critical about the topic of gender. That's all it was. A couple tweets. I told you. They're literally kicking in doors of grandmas that posted, oh, what happened to my country? This is what's going on. I mean, you got a comedian from Ireland. I can play a clip here. Here's the guy in a little bit of stand-up. Check this out.
Oh, thank you. That's what a comedian wants is people shouting out, we love you, you're okay. Just make it another month.
I don't know, man. Hopefully he can make it another month. I mean, he's in jail now. All he did was complain about a couple things. I mean, he had on his channel recently, I think it was like a few days ago, complaining about some organization he's a part of compromising or giving into the whole, rainbow crowd. So he is obviously one of the things he's vocal about, and it's now landed him apparently in jail. Here's another lady that also just landed in jail for literally flying a flag of the country she lives in. I mean, this is how ridiculous it's gotten over there, particularly in the UK. Well, that's all happening, of course, over here in America. We have CEOs robbing kids.
Why does it seem whenever a CEO does something stupid in public, when faced with well-deserved backlash, they can't help but double down? As this video went viral of a tennis star handing out a hat, only to be stolen by this grown man and immediately stuffed into a bag, as he obviously knew it wasn't.
Of course, he stole it from that kid, as you could tell in the video. He at first put out a statement saying, finders, keepers, kind of like ridiculous attitude, like, first one to grab, it's his. And literally had that attitude and said, stop freaking out over nothing. And then when it went totally nuclear and everyone in the world is talking about it, he's like, whoa, wait a second. This is affecting my company that I'm ahead of. Whoa. Apparently they review bombed his company. And actually, apparently they also review bombed a company that had the same name, but it wasn't them also. And then after that, then he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought he was trying to give it to me for my kids because we've been trying to get autographs all day long. Just made up some weird excuse. Of course, now he's paying for the whole thing. But I thought it was kind of hilarious how it literally took the entire internet talking about him for him to apologize. That's how bad it is for some of these CEOs. Just completely and utterly out of touch with reality. Now, speaking of that, we also have The Rock. As you can see here, he is a juggernaut back only a few years ago. Oh my goodness, look how huge he is. Now, apparently, he's lost just a little bit of muscle. As you can see here, if I can get on the screen, a lot thinner. And Some are wondering about that. I think it's simply he's getting older. He knows he can't use steroids forever. I mean, honestly, you know, we saw Stallone even doing it after 60. But, you know, eventually you have to get off that stuff if you want to live for, you know, quite a while. So obviously that's probably what's going on with The Rock. You saw that also with the Dave Bautista. Getting over to this big story about our president. We're going to get into that in a moment. We have this video here talking about God. I mean, literally his main accounts are putting out a lot of these like tweets, and now apparently a video. WH just released a chilling video crediting God for uniquely creating each of us capable of greatness. Be an original. God only created one of you, so don't try to be someone else. Let's play this here. Let's check this out. Because I feel like there's something that's going to really big happen here. He keeps talking about God. He disappears for 2 days. Some sort of guy that looks like him, I'm fully convinced it wasn't him playing golf. And I'll show you why. When you look at the photos, it doesn't look anything like him. But now he's come out today, I think some hours ago, in a press conference, and it is the legit, real, DJT. So let me just play this first. Check this out.
The odds. And next is to be an original. The old-time greats were people who had the confidence to be a little different. God only created one of you, so don't try to be someone else. Finally, and most importantly, never, ever give up. I've learned that perseverance is everything, so whatever happens, no matter where you are in life, stay optimistic and just keep pushing forward.
So, of course, he actually said 10 different things before that, all sort of motivational, positive sort of messages on how to be yourself, work hard, things of this nature. But he says here, be original. God only created one of you, so don't try to be someone else. You have a number of messages of recent. He talked about wanting to go to heaven. And this makes me think that something's going to happen. Particularly, it could also have something to do with his health. Of course, he claims now he's in great health. And like I said, I'm going to show you these photos where it looks nothing like him. Someone was out for 2 days, essentially. Let me just show you this picture. I mean, it literally looks nothing like him. Right here. Okay, that's not him. All right. And you can see here on the right, he looks way different than on the left. And like I said, we're going to get into that and much more. First, I'm going to mention we have a giveaway going on. Go check it out. Link is in the description. There's 10 days left. It's very easy to enter. $500 Amazon gift cards, $500 laptop. Very easy to enter. Just put your name and email. And you click these buttons, you get extra entries very easily. You simply have to follow or subscribe or just look at the page and you will get an entry. More entries, I mean. You can get multiple entries for this. Link is in the description. Of course, also this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity, Out of a Cellar, Do Things Around the House as He Did in the Old Days, hundreds of pages illustrated. You're going to need that book. If what I think is going to happen this September is really going to happen, you're going to definitely want to be prepared. Get the printed version, $37. We're already in September. We're in September 2nd right now. Also, they have food supply, 4 months worth for $6.97. They're throwing in an extra month for the same price. Go check it out. Link is in the description. So what I was trying to get at is a lot of people are pointing out how he had this weird mark on his hand. Now, I thought it didn't matter. I'm like, whatever, dude. Who cares? And the whole time they were doing this, I was like thinking to myself, he could have just simply bruised this. He could have dropped something on his hand. It doesn't mean necessarily anything, right? But there's a lot of people, there's something happening to him. And of course, there's some people that are excited about the idea of him being gone. So they didn't see him for a couple days. And then you had this weird, like I said, I'm convinced this is not him. It looks nothing like him. You can even see it right here, this weird indentation above his nose. I mean, it's nothing like it. And then the nose even looks different. He looks different. It looks like a completely different person to me. This guy was walking around. He's also more overweight. He also looks like he's actually got less energy than the actual real, president. So I didn't think the guy was going anywhere. I didn't think our president was sick. Maybe he did go and do something for 2 days that we're not aware of what that was. But it's interesting because maybe there's some plans put in place. He's been talking about heaven, and some people are just assuming, oh, he's sick or something. Or could it be he's about ready to do something big, which is what I'm thinking is going on. And that's what I wanted to get into. All right. So the fact is, like I said, a lot of people are on posting, weekend at Donnie's like he's already gone. And it's funny because, the former president, Joe there, he would go a month without a press conference and no one batted an eye. And that's exactly what our president just said in his most recent press conference right here. He was gone for 2 days. Everyone just thinks he's already dead or something. Let's play this. Check this out.
That you were dead. You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape.
Yeah, so, you have that press conference that came out today, a few hours ago. And clearly he's around. I figured he was. I figured there was no issue, and I knew he wasn't dead. It's just kind of ridiculous. People are just thinking this. But we had a number of predictions talking about this. In the past, we had here Kim Clement talking about a number of things that we've seen this summer already happen that make you wonder if this is finally it. Let me play this really quickly, and you'll see what I'm getting at.
And many say it is just simply an eruption. But it is not. It is a sign that I shall contain that which would try and be destructive in this nation. A volcano as a sign.
Okay, let me show you something before we play any more. Oh, look what happened today. A volcanic eruption in Hawaii. Literally today. And this is not the first. This is actually, there's been numerous volcanic eruptions of recent. Numerous. And actually, I'll show you the list. But this is happening right now in Hawaii. Kilauea volcanic eruption live. This is literally a live feed, apparently. Showing you the volcanic eruption happening. Could this be what's going on? Could we be finally seeing... Obviously, there are volcanic eruptions on a regular basis throughout, here and there. Every so many months, you'll have a volcanic eruption. But we've had numerous volcanic eruptions this year. Matter of fact, we had one, the same one, I think this is the same one. Earlier this year, in March, it's now doing it again. We had Indonesia last month, Iceland last month, and actually, I think there's more than that. Yeah, we had some in the ocean that went off as well. Let me see if I can find that. I remember in ocean 2025. Oh, okay. This one's predicted to erupt. This is the one I was talking about. It hasn't erupted yet. They're saying it can erupt at any moment. A massive, almost super volcanic sized volcano is supposed to erupt. I think it was supposed to erupt last month, or is it this month? And it's a massive one off the Oregon coast. So you have that one as well. There was one that I thought there was one that went off also that caused a small little tsunami recently. Wasn't it? No, that was an earthquake. That wasn't a volcano. That was an earthquake. Okay. At any rate, so there's been multiple volcanoes of recent. You have this one today going off again, which apparently went off back in March. If it looks like the same one, I'm pretty sure it's the same one. Yeah. Mount Ibu, Mount Lebowski, Lake Kiki, eruptions in Indonesia, Icelandic. Wow, they changed it. This is so bizarre. Look, they didn't even have that one earlier. Here's another one that wasn't even listed earlier. I just refreshed it and it shows a different result on the AI. It didn't even show this one in Russia earlier. So you have the one in Russia, you have one in Iceland, you have one in Indonesia, and then you also have the one in Hawaii today. It says August. Actually, it's literally erupting right now. You also had the one in the Philippines. I knew there was multiple. It's like not even showing them all. I bet you there's probably 3 more. Because I remember there's other ones as well. So there's like 4 or 5. I think there's 5 right there I just showed you that happened within the last couple months. And there's one that's supposed to go off soon here off the West Coast, right? Yeah. Off a few hundred miles off of the Oregon coast. But so you got the one going on. So this is obviously something that could be partially related to his prediction, right? Let's keep playing.
And then there will be another earthquake, says the Lord. Keep your eyes open, for this sign is to cause the earth to yield of its produce, that the great E may come forth rapidly. This is my promise, says the Lord. Therefore, take heed today. As you come to me and strike the rock, I will release that which has been held back from you and cause triumph to be sounded in your mouths, says the Lord. Come on.
All right. And then he goes on to say later, I don't want to play all this because I don't know how they look at copyrights on the channel, but he goes on to say later, many will fall in the fall. Actually, I think I have the transcript. I'll read through some of that in a little bit here. Yeah, here we go. Decade-old prophecy alerts of the coming strange July and hypnotic November. So we've talked about this before. I believe we are actually entering into the time of the fall. Many will fall in the fall. That's basically now until, I guess, the end of November. Would that be about right? So we have from now until the end of November, and we had this 2 days off where our president just disappeared. And clearly this guy, at least to me, to me it's pretty clear. This is not him, okay? There's no way that's him. He obviously has some sort of double. And this guy looks like in worse shape than our president, actually, okay? Honestly, he walks a little bit with less energy. He looks a little bit more overweight. He's got a weird indentation above his nose. Nothing like our president. I mean, it just looks completely different. I don't know how anybody cannot see that. There's so many people that can't see this, which is hilarious to me. Apparently everyone on the left can tell. It's like the people on the right are like, that's not him, that's him, that's him, that's the same guy. No, it isn't, dude. That is not the same guy. There is no way that's the same guy. Okay? He looks nothing like him. Okay? Unless I'm missing something, which I don't think I am, it doesn't look anything like him. So, at any rate, I'm pretty sure he must have some sort of double that he had going out. Why? Because he was doing something himself, perhaps important, maybe some planning. And this is kind of what I was thinking. Because he has been talking, and this is what we're going to get into now, on his own platform, saying things that make you wonder, pointing literally to what we're talking about, by the way. Our president has literally pointed to taking, down those at the top in his recent posts. Even showing a picture of him with things that are directly connected to it. Straight up saying it. He's been saying it pretty much directly for the last couple months. Yeah, we need to get him, of course, arrested. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. This is literally fitting the prediction to a T. He's talking about Chicago. At least 54 people were injured in Chicago over the weekend, actually dead. 8 people were dead. The last 2 weekends were similar. Chicago is the worst, most dangerous city in the world by far. Pritzker needs help badly. He just doesn't know it yet. I will solve the crime problem fast, just like I did in D.C. Chicago will be safe again. Now, what's interesting about this is I noticed on some of his other posts, let me see if I can get this on the screen. He has another one. No, this is not it. Yeah, here we are. This is it right here. So look at this. He's talking about DC like it's some sort of military, thing. He even says sit rep. situation report is what it means. Now, this is something they would say in the military. So why is he talking this way, right? Like he's talking like he's going to go through these cities and take them, of course, over. And that's not it. There's actually a lot more. We have here Pete authorizing 600 military lawyers to become JAG. And these JAG, they already had sent 20 to DC, so perhaps, I don't know what's going to happen with these other 600 basically JAG or judges, but they're going to be sent somewhere. And you had also about a month ago, a few weeks ago approximately, them talking about taking, of course, in a number of very high-level dudes. All right? As you can see here on the screen, some of these names, they might look a little familiar. And even the VP was saying, actually, it's going to be many people. So they've been telling us all this the entire time. A lot of people are just like, oh, yeah, whatever, nothing's going to happen. You know, like this is how most people are, even though they've been saying these things. So then they'll be shocked when it happens. Like, what? You actually meant what you were saying? I can't believe, you know. I mean, seriously, well, I understand why people are so jaded. It's because nothing's happened all this time. And you're like, oh, yeah, right, whatever, dude. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. This is how people are, right? But what if it actually is going to happen? We have this prediction. He keeps talking about heaven like he's trying to do the right thing or something, trying to get right with God, and knows about, obviously, the evil and, of course, corruption. Are these predictions, are these prophecies going to happen? Some people thought it would be in 2024. But actually, it looks like it's going to be, it looks to me like it's going to be this year. He had numerous predictions come true. 8 of them. Kim Clement here. What is this one? This one was one that got fulfilled not too long ago with Time Magazine, where Time Magazine will have no choice but to say what I want them to say. Newsweek, well, what I want to say. The View, what I want to say. Now, of course, a lot of people think The View's canceled. It's actually not canceled. They took off for the summer. They're actually going to be back. But wouldn't it be amazing if they actually said something positive about our president? That would be shocking, wouldn't it? But what if there were, you know, certain people brought in and then he had to say the right thing? That's what you have to ask yourself. Okay. Well, we've actually had, I think it was Time Magazine, right? That had to put out something positive about our president. I remember there was. Okay, so that happened already. It said that he'll be in for 2 terms, which has happened. There was even another guy named Groover that had a dream about him leaving for a while and then coming back. And he was like dressed in like a royal outfit, like a king, and actually had to take some time off before he could come back. So that would kind of indicate he would lose and then win again. You have also the Strange July Hypnotic November, which I believe is happening right now. That also he predicted that they would try to take him, you know, out, which they did indeed try to do that. He praised and took the mantle of Ronald Reagan so that this nation may experience great revival, breakthrough. But I can't talk for some reason. But truly, there shall be one that shall attempt to lead 3 others to a side to blank and take out. But I am with you tonight where my warriors will stop it because of your prayers will make the difference. And of course, considering how close it was of a call, sounds like prayer did save them. And actually there were multiple attempts, right? Weren't there? 3? I think there was, if I remember correctly. So then it says here, the Kennedys have come to this place I spoke about, that there will be a massive outbreaking and outpouring in the system, in the nation. Political system, 3 enemies shall rise up already on their way. I will take them. See, that's what I think it's talking about. They will confound themselves, and the nation shall rise above the occasion, come to oneness of God. Now, it actually says in another one that the Kennedys will join him. Okay, I don't know if that's part of it, and it's just out of context, but it does. He did actually join him. And that was back in... That doesn't say the year there. But so there's actually a lot of other ones as well. As you can tell, he's had a number of predictions come true. And so we're seeing this stuff happen before us. Here you have another prediction from him as well. Let's play this one.
I have appointed time, this time, and through the month of February going through to the spring, filled with unique surprises. But there are going to be exposures. Leaders that have stood and lied will be exposed.
That's already happened. That's already happened. That's happening already.
However, I did see something, and I see it again. I saw a cloud, but it was not a cloud that would bring destruction.
He's talking about a good cloud, actually.
Descended. This is the cloud of God's presence. This is the cloud that came onto the Mount of Transfiguration, where there was a voice and there was a glorification of my Son. Do you believe that I will allow the cloud of Islam to descend and not allow the cloud of my glory to descend? No!
So that's what he said there. And so he's saying what's going to happen is these people are going to be taken, of course, down. And then after that, we're going to have sort of like God's presence come in and a lot of miraculous stuff are going to happen. So there's actually going to be two major things that happen according to his predictions. And actually a number of other prophets are saying the exact same thing or quite similar, that there's first going to be this taking down. And then after that, there's going to be sort of like a God's sort of hand in on things. So at first it's going to be this, and then something much bigger is going to come after that will be miraculous in many ways. And people will even see angels and things of this nature. And it will be essentially something very miraculous that will happen in America, and America will turn around, and the world also. So I'm hoping this really does happen this year. This is what they're predicting. And I'm going to get into it more. I actually have a number of other things to show you guys over on my other channel. Kind of wonder what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.